Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Step Into Your Power with Mel and Ruben. This week, I am going to be talking about authenticity. Why? Because so many people in this world are lacking authenticity.
For too long, we've been lying to ourselves. For too long, we've been giving in to our own bullshit. For too long, we've been holding ourselves back. I stepped in my power, and now I'm here to help you do the same.
This whole world in general is lacking authenticity. The governments are lacking authenticity. The media is lacking authenticity. Businesses are lacking authenticity. People are lacking authenticity. Relationships are lacking authenticity. And this needs to change because the world is not happy. The world as a collective is not happy, especially the Western world, and it's because we are not being authentic to ourselves and who we are and to our values. Now, growing up, I tried to be as authentic as possible, but I wasn't really. I was authentic more so on the outside as to how I looked and what I wanted to look like and who I wanted to be, and I wasn't afraid of sharing the kinds of artists I listened to and dressing the way that I did, etc., etc., etc. But when it came to communicating with people and when it came to connecting with people, I wasn't necessarily my authentic self because I was worried about what people would think of me. And subsequently, I was attracting the wrong kind of people to me, the wrong kind of relationships to me, and I didn't have a very good time when I was younger. Also, I've found in the business world, if you don't already know what I do, I'm an online marketer, and I've found in the online marketing world and the influencer world that people just aren't authentic, right? And as a marketer and as a content creator, it is my duty to be authentic in the content that I put out. Now, when I initially started my journey in July 2017, the community I joined was very inauthentic. It had very inauthentic leadership, which, I could smell a mile off and I felt it a mile off, but I saw the vision of the business and I carried on within the community, right? But that's history. There's no need to get into that. Because of the inauthenticity of everything that was going on, the things that we were taught within the community as to how to market was inauthentic marketing, right? And we were given different adverts and different content pieces to post out there into the ether of the universe, and we weren't taught to be ourselves and we weren't taught to be authentic. Now, I have never wanted to be like the crowd. I've always wanted to be different. So I never took their adverts and their content that they gave me, and I always made my own advertisements. I always made my own content because that's what resonated with me. I didn't want to use someone else's stuff for building my own business, right? So this was when I really personally started to really step into my authenticity. Because before then, yes, I was authentic with how I looked and what I wanted to dress and on the outside. But when it came to myself inside and, admitting who I was and being true to who I was, and also to the relationships that I had, that was the inauthentic part of me. Now, growing up in the society that we grow up in, we're not taught to be authentic. We're not taught to be authentic. We are made to feel as if we are not enough. We're bombarded with the media and even through schools, like in some which way or another, we're made to feel as if we're not enough. So because of that, we worry so much about what people think of us. And because of that, we dim our shine and we're inauthentic to ourselves and to others because we want other people to like us. But no, that's wrong. No, that's wrong, because we attract the wrong kinds of people to us. And it's very important that we attract the right kinds of people to us because that's what makes us happy, having the right kinds of people around us. So this is why people aren't more authentic, and this is why the majority of the populace are inauthentic, and it's not our fault. It's not our fault, it's not your fault, it's not their fault, it's not your nan's fault, it's no one's fault. It's the way that we've just been brought up and conditioned. But if we feel that we are inauthentic, and if we're not happy with that fact, and if our lives aren't the way that we want it to be, we have to start embodying authenticity, okay? We have to live a fully fulfilling and happy life to ourselves. Because when we're inauthentic, we're attracting the wrong people to us. We're attracting the wrong situations to us. We're not being true to ourselves. It's important to be compassionate with ourselves. It's very important to be compassionate with ourselves. And it's very important to understand, okay, well, this is why I haven't been authentic. And this is also why I find it hard to be authentic, because I'm scared about what other people think of me. But the fact of the matter is, what other people think of you is none of your fucking business. It only holds you back. Let me say that again. It only holds you back. You need to stop caring about what other people think of you, because at the end of the day, if people are judging you and if people are negative to you, that's because of their own inadequacies in themselves. That's because of trauma that they haven't overcome in themselves. That's nothing to do with you. And it's none of your business. So start throwing that out the window and check yourself when you worry about what other people think of you. Now, the sooner you step into yourself and your authenticity, the quicker you are going to embody exactly who you are. The quicker you are going to step into your confidence, step into your power, love yourself. The quicker you are going to attract the right people to you, the right people to your business. The quicker you are going to attract and build the right relationships for yourself. Your own self-worth and your own self-confidence relies on you being authentic. So if you want to build up your own self-worth and your own self-confidence, be authentic. Now, I'm not necessarily saying it's going to be easy, because it's not. It's scary. It's really, really, really scary. Putting ourselves out there on the line and being like, yeah, this is me. This is me. Got a problem? If you have, fuck off. No, but seriously, like, that is the way that we should be looking at it, from a place of love, of course. You know, like, if you're not for me, that's fine. And at the end of the day, we cannot expect everyone to like us. We can't expect everyone to like us, because we don't like everyone. So how can we expect everyone to like us? We can't, okay? So we need to have that in the forefront of our mind. And as long as we're leading with love, and we're not being malicious, and we're not being hating, and we're not being negative, then it's fine. You know, fuck off. If you don't like me, see you later. Goodbye. I'll find my people that do like me. I'll find my people that will listen to me. I don't need you to live a fulfilling life, because I have myself. I have my own self-worth. I have my own self-love. And I don't need anyone else, because I have already filled that within me. And that's what you need to work towards. Now, the importance of being authentic in your business is massive. There are so many people, especially in my online business space, which is the online marketing world and the influencer world. There's so many people around that are inauthentic, that are lying about their lives, that are lying about how they're feeling, that are lying about what they're going through, because they've got a really good piece of content that they can post, a really good photo. Oh, this is me, I'm perfect. I'm so perfect in my lovely life. Whereas behind the scenes, they're not. And like, there's couples out there that go on as if they're perfect on the screen, but they're not. What the fuck? I don't understand this. I don't get this. And when I see this and when I find this out, like, it really makes me lose so much respect. Because why are you lying to yourself and your followers? Why are you lying? There is no need to lie. Be honest, be true. We're all human. We all go through shits and struggles, right? And this is why in your business, it's so very important to be authentic with the message that you're putting out there. Because as soon as people find out that you're not being authentic, as soon as people find out that you're lying to them, they lose all respect for you. And there's your business reputation down the line. This is your reputation you are talking about, right? This is your reputation. Once you lose your reputation, it's so much harder to get back. It is so much harder to get back. So make sure you're authentic. And when you're authentic in your business, you attract the right kinds of people to you. Especially if you're in my line of business. Especially if you're in my line of business. Because in my line of business, it's not just about sales. It's about building a team. And at the end of the day, it's a lifelong business. So it's important that you attract the right kinds of people to your team because you're going to work with them for the rest of your life. So be authentic, yeah? Don't lie to your followers. Don't try and pretend to be something that you're not, because you are enough just as you are. You are perfect just as you are. You are in the right space just as you are. Be honest about it to yourself and to your followers. Yes, we can always grow. Yes, we can always get better. And it's important as human beings that we admit that we respect that. And when we're honest about that, we gain more respect. There's no point in trying to be perfect because no one is perfect. Nothing is perfect in this world, okay? Nothing, not even nature. And look how beautiful nature is. Nature is, oh my God, it's the embodiment of beauty. But not everything in nature's perfect. There's imperfections everywhere in nature, but it's still beautiful, and that's the same with you. You are a natural being, yeah? There are things that you're going to be strong at, there are things that you're going to be weak at, there are things that you're going to thrive at, there are things you are going to be struggling with and at. So admit it. There's nothing wrong with admitting your shortcomings. Be authentic to yourself, to your relationships, to your followers. Moving on, in relationships. Being authentic in relationships is key. It's so key. Being authentic in your relationships to your boundaries and how you're feeling and your wants and your needs. Because when we're not authentic and when we don't tell the people that we have relationships with what our boundaries are, what our wants are and what our needs are, how the fuck can you expect them to know? And then when they don't know and when they don't do something that like you want them to do or you need them to do, or when they do something that crosses your boundaries and you don't tell them, you're going to get pissed off. And then you're going to blame them, and then there's an argument, and it's just not fucking needed. So be authentic and be honest from the get-go. Yes, it's hard. When you first start setting boundaries with people, it's hard. And it's learning how to set boundaries with people that's the important thing. Non-violent communication is key here. When we're communicating with people, it's important to take complete ownership of the communication, yeah? And take complete ownership of how we're feeling and what we want and what our needs are, rather than saying you this, you that, you make me feel, you do this. No one makes you feel anyway. You choose to feel the way that you feel. You can't blame other people about it, yeah? But you can ask them to change certain things because you feel a certain way when this happens. It's not their fault. They're doing the best with the tools that they have. And unless they know from your standpoint and your perception, they don't know how to change things. So don't blame people, because when you blame people, you get their back up and they're not happy with it, okay? No one likes to be blamed, no one likes to be criticised. Remember that. Non-violent communication is key. There's plenty of books about it. If you want to look into how to non-violently communicate, I suggest that you read the book Non-Violent Communication. I can't remember the author. Very good book though, very good book. So moving on. It's important, and I touched upon this slightly earlier, for your own self-worth and self-confidence. Yeah? Because when you're authentic to yourself and other people, you're not lying to yourself and you're not lying to other people. So you're building your self-worth and your self-confidence, and you're not backtracking and like trying to remember whatever lie that you've been telling yourself or other people. It's very important to step into your authenticity to build that self-worth and build that self-confidence. Because once you step into that and once you embody your authenticity and embody who you are as a whole, you start loving yourself. Once you love yourself, you don't need anyone else's validation. You don't. And then it all feeds into each other. Self-worth and self-confidence. Now, moving on. Mel, how can I be authentic? I haven't really lived authentic for the majority of my life. I don't know how to be authentic. Well, I can help you there. So, you need to know who you are and what you want, okay? Now, what do you mean know who I am and what I want? Well, a lot of the time, we scoot around and try to avoid who we are. And who we are and what's built us is our past. Now, your past is not who you are, but your past is what has made you into the person that you are today. Your past is what has enabled you to learn and enabled you to grow into the person that you are today. Now, you find out who you are by taking full ownership of where you are and what's got you where you are and the choices that you've made, right? Now, when we blame other people and other situations for where we are, we give our power away. And we want to step into our power. So blaming other people and blaming other situations and blaming whatever the fuck is giving our power away. And we want to step into our power. This is why you're listening to this podcast. So own where you are. Own it completely. Own your past. Be proud of your past. Yeah? You've not made great choices in the past. None of us have. We've all made mistakes. We've all gone through shits and struggles. We've all probably been an absolute arsehole to a fair few people. But that's okay, because we were doing the best with the tools that we had. And if we look back on it, what have we learned from it? How have we grown from it? Yeah? And when we recoil at those situations where we're not completely happy in ourselves, it's like, okay, well, I'm not happy in myself there. So how can I change? This is what I don't want to be. So it helps you work out what you do want to be. And that's why our past is so important. It's important not to dwell on your past, but it's also important to look back on your past and work out, okay, well, this is what I don't like. This is what I didn't like about me. And this is what I want to change. And how can I learn from that? And how can I grow from that? Okay, and that's how you work out who you are, because you find out from your past mistakes what kind of values you have and the kind of person you want to step into. When you work that out, you work out who you want to be and what you want to be in life. And it's important that when we work that out, we step into that right away, because we are not going to become that person until we step into that person. We can't just be like, oh yeah, I want to be that person in 2 years, and then just wait for that to come along and expect it to happen in 2 years. No. If you want to be that person in 2 years, you have to start doing the stuff that that person you want to be does now. The only time is now. And the quicker you step into what that person does now, the quicker you're going to become that person. It's very, very, very important to be intentional, okay? And with that being said, be compassionate. We're not perfect. Everything goes day by day, step by step. Rome wasn't built in a day. But intentionality is key here. Now, values. Work out what values you have. What are your values in life? What are your values in life? How do you want to live your life? Yeah? And base your life around that. Base who you are around that. Be mindful of your values in when you are communicating with people and what you do. And again, be compassionate with yourself, because it's not always easy to move from one kind of character to another. But it's like, okay, well, I want to be like this, so I need to move from this to this. Sometimes this part is going to be like, rah! And then like jump out. And you're going to be annoyed at yourself. But with that being said, being annoyed at ourselves is not going to help the situation. It's being compassionate. It's being like, okay, well, I've lived with this for so long. I'm very mindful that that was not correct, and I need to be mindful and I need to observe this in the future, so I can change this, right? You are more than capable to change what you don't like about yourself, okay? It's all about being self-aware. Boundaries, how to be authentic. Set boundaries. You can set boundaries without upsetting other people. And at the end of the day, when you set boundaries, if you upset people when you set your boundaries, those people don't respect you. And those are the kinds of people that you don't want or need in your life. Be very aware of your emotions, so you can set boundaries with the people in your life. What do you love? What do you love? And do more of that. Do more of that and share that with people. Embody that. Embody it. Embody what you love. Do what you love. We only have one life. We only have one life. We need to live it as authentic to ourselves as possible. We need to live it as authentic to ourselves as possible to be the happiest that we can possibly be. There is nothing about you that you should hide from people. There is nothing about you that you should hide from people. And if you feel like there is something about you that you should hide from people, that is something that you need to change because you're not happy with it, okay? So, authenticity is key. Why is it important? It's important for your business, it's important in your relationships, and it's important for your own self-worth and your own self-confidence. How to be authentic. Know who you are and embody exactly who you are and be proud of who you are and know what you want, know where you want to go. Work out what your values are and live by your values every day. Set boundaries with people and do more of what you love. You only have one life. Do more of what you love. Well, there you go, warrior. That's been this week's episode of Step Into Your Power with Mel M. Rubin. If you found value in this episode, please share this with your friends. Either send it to them in a message or share it on your story and tag me. If you have any questions or if you want any guidance on anything, my DMs are always open for you. All you need to do is message me at Mel M. Rubin on Instagram. Keep flying, warrior. You're amazing.